Good morning and welcome to the Killik & Co Market Update. It's been a quiet week for earnings and economic data, but a very eventful week for politics. The results of the UK general election have come in overnight. The Labour Party have won by a landslide, with over 412 out of 650 seats as we await the results of the 3 remaining seats. This is the largest parliamentary majority since 1997 and represents a return to power for Labour after 14 years. The Conservatives have lost over 250 seats, and the Liberal Democrats have made strong gains, whilst the Reform and Green parties have won 4 seats each. Voter turnout was at the second lowest level since 1885, and the number of votes collectively cast for Labour and Conservatives are at the lowest level in over a century. UK markets were relatively detached through the course of the political campaign, but markets have responded positively this morning, with sterling making gains and the domestically focused FTSE 250 rallying this morning. The Labour manifesto has set out the party's ambitions to establish a green energy company, increase the number of NHS operations, and embark upon an ambitious plan to build 1.5 million homes over the next 5 years. The major parties received criticism from the Institute of Fiscal Studies for the lack of detail in the manifesto pledges. The fiscal body suggested that the incoming government will either need to raise taxes or cut public spending. As you can see in this chart, the amount of tax revenues collected by governments have increased significantly in recent years. Labour have confirmed plans to increase tax revenues by over $8 billion for spending measures, although the party says it has cautiously left $2.5 billion of fiscal headroom. The Labour Party have clearly set out their ambitions to build 300,000 homes on average over each of the next 5 years. The new government is expected to put forward house building legislation within weeks, which is expected to contain local authority house building targets and plans to recruit an additional 300 planning officers, a measure which is intended to be funded by a higher stamp duty for overseas buyers of UK property. The party also plans to approve house building on certain types of greenbelt land. Governments have consistently fallen short of house building targets in recent decades. As you can see in this chart, the last time 300,000 homes were built in a single year was over 50 years ago, and completions have averaged around 150,000 in the past decade. Nationwide house price data was released earlier in the week and reflected a continued recovery in average house prices, as you can see in this chart. The scarcity of supply has been a major boost to house prices in an environment where mortgage rates remain elevated. It's been a quiet week for corporate earnings. Shell provided a trading update this morning. The company is one of our favoured integrated energy plays and is the world's largest liquefied natural gas trader, and it has an ambitious strategy to increase its focus on renewable energy. The company reported the trading in its core gas division is set to fall in the second quarter, but it would match the results for the same period last year. The shares are slightly lower this morning after the company announced that it would write down the value of assets by up to $2 billion, largely as a result of halting construction at a facility in the Netherlands. It's been a volatile week for oil markets as Hurricane Beryl has left a trail of devastation across the Caribbean and is potentially heading towards the United States. Oil majors, such as Shell, BP and ExxonMobil, have evacuated offshore oil platforms in the Gulf of Mexico, and traders have expressed concern that the hurricane could disrupt onshore refineries in the United States. Fears of major disruptions of supply have receded, but oil prices have rallied in recent weeks as refineries prepare for peak demand as we approach the summer driving season. Moving to the earnings calendar, the student accommodation provider Unite will be reporting on Monday. The house builder, Barratt Developments, will be reporting next Wednesday, and there'll be a number of US banks reporting next Friday. That's all from us this week. If you have any questions or comments on today's update, please do get in touch with us by emailing info@killik.com. Have a great weekend and we'll see you soon.